Hello, Mr. Richardson here. Welcome to our first lab of the year. We're doing a density lab. And so if you're watching this, you're probably at home. And so I'm going to work through and gather the data with you. And then after we gather the data, it's going to be up to you to make the calculations and finish the lab. Here is the lab sheet that we're working with. I'm assuming if you're here that you found the video, that you've also found this lab sheet and perhaps been able to print it out. And so we've got a couple of different things we're doing. We're finding the density of an iron cylinder. So here's our iron cylinder. We're going to find the density using the formula method, which step one will walk you through. And then secondly, we're going to find it with the water displacement method. And steps 2 and 3 will walk you through that. So starting off though, first thing we need to do is we need to find a mass of the cylinder. So here is my digital balance. This on and fire it up. Here's my weigh boat. I'll go ahead and tear that so it's at 0. And then I put my iron cylinder on there, and there is the mass, 49.16. That measurement should be in grams. So 49.16 grams here, and we can go ahead and put that over here too. The mass shouldn't change. Next, then, we need to find the height of the cylinder. That's how tall the cylinder is, or how long it is. So we'll go ahead and get my ruler out. Start it at 0. There we go. I'm gonna take a real close look. I might have to freeze the video to get the preciseness of your measurement down. Remember, we know for a fact it's past 4.9. I don't think it's quite to 5, so we know for a fact it's at least 4.9. You need to know how many digits to record. We know it's 4.9. How many do you write? And again, this measurement is in centimeters. How many do you record? And that value goes right there. That's the height of your cylinder. Next up, we'll go ahead and record the diameter. Now, this may not be a perfect measurement. It's hard to find the exact center. We'll do the best that we can. Okay, so I think I've got it on the edge, and it's going over to the other edge. I'll zoom in here real quick. Most precise possible. Yeah. Okay, so there we are. We're starting at 1. We know it goes past 1, 1.2, 1.2 what? And you make that recording right here. That's the diameter of the cylinder. The whole point of the lab, though, is to make sure you guys are measuring using the correct number of digits when you measure, and then the proper number of significant digits when you calculate as well. So I'm going to make sure that you guys are recording that correctly. You can ask if you aren't sure about that. And once you get those 3 measurements, the mass, the height, and the diameter, you should be able to solve for the density of this iron cylinder using the formula method. And there's that method laid out for you, or there's that formula laid out for you. Big thing, guys, I need to see a unit behind every single number in your calculations. 3 grams plus 3 grams equals 6 grams. 3 plus 3 does not equal 6 grams. 3 plus 3 is just 6. So I need to see a unit every step of the way. Really slow that down. And then also keep in mind, what kind of math are you doing? What kind of operation? Addition and subtraction, or multiplication and division? And your rules for how many digits your final answer should have are going to be different depending on what type of operation we're doing. So watch out for that as you guys make that calculation. I'm going to go ahead and move to the next part. Again, we can use the same mass that we got to begin the lab for a massive cylinder. But this next part, we're going to do water displacement. So we use a graduated cylinder, here we are, graduated cylinder for that. So we'll take 2 volumes. I'm going to go and not fill it up with water. I'm going to put some water in it. Okay, so there we go. And I don't see much of a meniscus, but always read from the bottom of the meniscus. And that's why we get it eye level. So there we go. Right here, you can see is about 50, not about, that's 50 milliliters. So we're going up above it, 51, 52, 53. Are we quite to 54? Doesn't quite look like it. So 53, what? Again, that's up to you to record the proper number of digits. 53 what? Next, in order to find the volume for water displacement, so that's our initial volume, Next, I'm just carefully drop the metal cylinder into the water and find the new volume. Press the eye level here. Okay, so there we go. We've got the metal now completely submerged in the water. And how much did that, or what's the new reading of our water with the metal in it? It's going to allow you guys to kind of figure that out. Again, make sure you're recording it to proper digits. The unit you should have is milliliters. We're measuring in milliliters. And that should be your final volume. Lab, the initial volume was before you put the metal into it. And the final volume was what we recorded with the metal in it. Once you have those pieces of data, you can come down to part 2 and you can figure out the volume of the metal. Again, watch your significant digits. This is the big thing I'm looking for in this lab. Subtraction step, how do the digits work? So think about that as you guys are working through that. Once you figure out the volume, you can find the density using the water displacement method, and that is step 3. On the back side then, we're looking for the percent error. Now we haven't covered this in notes yet, so if you're watching this and it's not yet Monday, don't sweat this. We'll cover this in notes on Monday. I will send out an email or a Canvas announcement about what the actual or the accepted value of density for iron is. So that'll be the AV. Again, I'll send that out in Canvas. So you can look in Canvas to find the accepted value. You can use that as your AV. You're going to find 2% errors. One for the formula method. That was where we use the ruler. And the second one for water displacement method. That's where we use the graduated cylinder. We can figure out which way was more accurate. Watch your significant digits. Watch that video for the notes on Monday before you do that. There are some specific things I'll be looking for. And then finally, a couple of follow-up questions, and that'll complete the lab. So for those of you at home, hopefully this got you the data. Again, shoot me an email if you have any questions or problems. Otherwise, this lab will be due Wednesday, August 18th. So if you have any questions, you can shoot me an email. Otherwise, hopefully this works out for you, and I'll see you later.